Hey guys, it's Tisha, and I wanted to give you a review on the UniWigs Upgrade Courtney Topper. I have the 12-inch, and it's in Butter Blonde. So I've had this topper for a couple of months now, and so I wanted to be able to make an update on it and tell you what I thought. So when I received it from UniWigs, they asked for, just for me to display the topper and see what it looked like. And then at that point is when, I'm finished with all the things that they asked of me. So now I'm giving you a review that I've had it for a little while. It's all my own opinion, all my own experiences. So, if you know anything about this piece, it is a budget topper, which is super awesome because we all know that it's been hard lately for all of us. It's very lightweight. It is low density, but not so low that you don't get some adequate coverage. Like my hair is to here. This is my hair. And despite that, you wouldn't really know from me, turning my head and stuff like that, you wouldn't really know. And if you have really low density pieces, then you're going to see the hair peeking through. But at the same time, it's not a high density by any means. I also like that it comes with pre-cut layers, also a pro. I like that because it's a monofilament and the way the cap is made with the wefting coming all the way up to the crown here, it kind of molds to your head and it's quite flat. While this is not a luxury piece, so it's not meant to have, all luxury features, the hair is nice. I like the hair. It is soft. Now I do have another piece that I had purchased from UniWigs. This is called their Luxe Topper, and I can tell you there's a big difference between the hair. Like this is nice and fine. It might be just a little bit drier and I don't think that it's going to be as resilient for as long as this hair, just my experience with hair. But again, this is a budget topper. So that's a pro. A pro is that it has a nice cute little layered cut already comes on the piece. So when you're a beginner, you really would like to have a nice flat topper usually because you get a little overwhelmed by seeing too much hair on your head. Thickness goes pretty well. It starts at the top and goes to the bottom. You don't see tons of see-through space on the bottom. It looks pretty good from the top to the bottom. You will see that you will find some shorter hairs throughout the piece. And it's not too bad, but that's something to be aware of. So I suppose the cons I will give you, and I'll go ahead and take it off. So remember I was telling you, I guess I'll go with that, show you the super flatness right here. The cons are, I do think it needs more clips on the inside of the cap. So, but I'm going to probably add some clips myself. Obviously, you're going to see the part line right here. It's a little dense, so meaning like you could pluck it a little bit. Some people like to do that when they see a dense hairline because they feel like it doesn't look as natural. So if that's an issue for you, there's that as well. And then some people might see that it's a con that it's not a silk top, but again, silk tops are going to be more expensive because silk tops take more time, material, effort, all of that. Also, this is the Butter Blonde color, and it's a multi-dimensional color, which I think is great, but I did notice that the root is a little on the warm side, and so that's something to be aware of. My hair naturally is a little more on the ashy side, so that warm blonde, doesn't match up as good as, say, an ashy root would. That is something I could fix myself by putting a little bit of color on there. But basically what I wind up doing most of the time is just kind of camouflaging a little bit by setting it back here and just combing my hair, right in front. So I'm not sure if you can see what I mean by some of the hairs that stick out. Obviously we have return hairs. That's normal, but some people don't like a whole lot of return hair, and depending on which company you buy it from, you may not have as much. So here is that wefting I was talking about. You got that closed weft from here on out, but it actually rounds out the piece and makes it nice and flat. And right here, because it's a monofilament top that's nice and flat, we don't have any extra silk in there. It's also flat. I obviously had to I put a little bit of scar tape on there. That helps me kind of create the illusion of scalp a little bit easier. And yeah, highly recommend that. So far, my experience with this piece also has been that I've washed it a few times. And I haven't seen like tons of color run out when I do that, but I've washed it. I've also styled it with heat products multiple times, as well as conditioned it and used heat protectant multiple times. And I have not had any issues compromising the piece. I understand some people think, well, why would you buy a budget piece when you could just save your money and go, buy something else, later on? Well, my point is that sometimes you need to get your feet wet, and you may not realize how worth it to you toppers are. Like when I first started, my first topper was $40. And I've certainly gone up from there. So, you may not be ready to spend 1,000, or a little less than 1,000, or even up to $1,500 on a hair topper. So that would be completely understandable. These are just my genuine thoughts about this piece. I cannot speak to the longevity of the piece, like say, 6 months or a year from now. But at this point, it's held up to the quality it was when I got it. Yeah, there is my review right there. At least my complete review as of a couple of months, is that, you got a lot of pros, you got just a few cons. And is this a piece that I would recommend to someone who's getting into the hair game? I would, because you may learn a little bit about wearing hair. Hey guys, it's Tisha. So my video had cut off, but what I wanted to do was show you a complete 360 of the piece on my head and say thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, please ask.